Please find your seats. And if you could, make sure to silence your cell phones. We are fasting from the cell phone today, in addition to any other fasts we are observing. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm Rabbi Natalie Shribman, and I'm joined by our soloist, Janet Christensen. It's so great to have you in this sanctuary, and we will, thank you. We will adjust the volume so you can hear me better. Thank you so much. We are working on it. Is that any better? Okay, thank you so much for letting us know. We will begin on page 5. Praying is more than merely reciting words. It's about encountering aspects of ourselves we rarely, if ever, see, shifting our perspective and seeing all things anew, awakening our spirits and sense of wonder. Prayer is about connection with ourselves, with a community of other seekers, and with someone or something beyond ourselves. On the High Holy Days in particular, our prayer has some additional goals. We're trying to remove our protective armor, our ego, self-deception, rationalization, external and internal makeup, any posturing, anything that keeps us from seeing ourselves as we really are. We're trying to experience both our vulnerability and the true sense of our strength. And perhaps most importantly, we're trying to get past our self-judgment and locate a place of gentleness and tenderness, that place where we feel deeply loved and valued and where we feel most loving of others, even if just for a moment. Continue on page 9, and I welcome up the Kravitz family to help us light candles. Page 10. For those who must eat during Yom Kippur, Rofei Chol Basar, healer of all living creatures, I thank you for the breath that is in me, for the community of Israel that lives for the possibilities of today and tomorrow. May my eating be as a fast. It may be dedicated to you, to Teshuvah, to the renewal and restoration of my relationship to you, to others, and to myself. A blessing to begin the fast. Blessed are you, soul of the universe, creator of many creatures and their varied needs, for sustaining the lives of all beings. Light of the universe, we praise you. Now we prepare to abstain from food and drink, that we may dedicate ourselves to the spiritual tasks of this holy day. Blessed is the source of all, You open us to your nourishment. Be with us throughout this time of intentional fasting. We'll continue on page 15. Kol Nidre, a chant that begins in a whisper and rises to a cry. On this night of promises remembered, each soul in solitude communes with the soul of the universe. God, from this day of atonement to the next, may we reach it in peace. All Israel makes these vows, to turn from wrong, dishonesty, and greed, to walk in the path of justice and right. Together, yet we know our weakness, how prone we are to fail. Help us to keep our word. Help us to act with humility and integrity. We seek pardon and forgiveness. We seek your radiance and light. Those of you who are helping carry Torahs, if you could come forward. Continue on page 16. With one voice, assembled sages, past and present declare, all may pray as one on this night of repentance. Let none be excluded from our community of prayer. With one voice, God and congregation proclaim, all may pray as one on this day of return. Let all find a place in this sacred assembly.
Koname
Join together in the English. All vows, resolves, and commitments, vows of abstinence and terms of obligation, sworn promises and oaths of dedication that we promise and swear to God and take upon ourselves from this day of atonement until the next day of atonement, may it find us well. We regret them, and for all of them we repent. Let all of them be discarded and forgiven, abolished and undone. They are not valid, and they are not binding. Our vows shall not be vows, our resolves shall not be resolves, and our oaths, they shall not be oaths. Please be seated. page 20. All shall be forgiven, the entire community of Israel, and the stranger who lives in their midst, for all have gone astray in error. Moses prayed to God, as you have been faithful to this people ever since Egypt, please forgive their failings now, in keeping with your boundless love. And God responded, I forgive as you have asked.
Vayomer Adonai, salachti kirvarecha. Vayomer Adonai, salachti kirvarecha. Vayomer Adonai, salachti kirvarecha.
Continue on page 22 with the Baruch Hu. If you are able to rise, please do so. Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bitvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishanei itim, umechalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, merashtehem berakira kirtsono, borei yom v'layla, goel or mipnei hoshech, V'hoshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tziva'ot shemo, El Hai v'kayam tamid yimloch alenu leolam va'et, Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam et Yisrael, amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochbenu u'b'kumenu, nasiach b'chukeinu.
Please be seated.
Page 30. Ve'ahavta לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 38. Page 39. Our sages taught it is proper to mention the exodus from Egypt in our morning prayers and also at night. We celebrate the going out from Egypt in the morning light, full of confidence and vigor as we enter the new day. But in the evening, weary from the day's exertions, cast down and fearful at the coming of the night, what can the exodus teach us then? Our nighttime prayer brings hope and trust in the future. As God did not abandon our people long ago, through the long, dark night of exile, so the Holy One will be with us in time to come. To stand by the one you love, that is the true essence of faithfulness, the meaning of emunah. So it is written in the Psalms, to proclaim your kindness in the morning and your faithfulness in the nights. Sing with joy in the mornings of your life, when light surrounds you and the world seems beautiful and good, and in the evenings of your life, when you dwell in sorrow and the world seems dark, do not despair. We'll continue on page 40.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נעתר בקודש, נורתי אילון אוסף אליך, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We join together on page 42. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With powers sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in all our lives. Be our shield, make us stronger than the enemies we face, illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts. Wickedness and sin carry us to safety as on wings. For you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life, watch over us, that we may come home in peace, now until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 45. Ki vayom hazeh yechaper aleichem, letaher etchem, mikol hatetochem, lifnei Adonai titaru. For on this day atonement shall be made for you, to purify you from all of your wrongs, and pure you shall be in the presence of Adonai.
Yitzkadam, Yitzkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Ve'alma divrach yirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyamechon, u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala. V'yitba'ar v'yitruma v'yitnasei, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitala, shemei dekudesha brichu, le'ela u'le'ela, min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata,
Please rise if you're able to on page 46.
Adonai sfatai tifta ufi agi tehilatecha ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham v'Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geula livnei b'neihem, Le'man Shemo Zofreinu lechaim, melech hafetz b'chaim, v'chodveinu b'sefer hachayim, lemancha Elohim chayim, melech ozer, Moshiach u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai. לעשות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אמן. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה.
Please be seated. And so, in your holiness, give all creation the gift of awe. Turn our fear to reverence. Let us be witnesses of wonder, perceiving all nature as a prayer come alive. We bow to the sovereignty of your strength, the primacy of your power. We yearn for connection with all that lives, doing your will with wholeness of heart. Awe-inspiring is your creation, all-encompassing your transcendent name. Page 56. And so, in your holiness, give the righteous the gift of a vision, bright with joy, a world where evil has no voice, the rule of malevolence fades like wisps of smoke. Good people everywhere will celebrate the stunning sight of arrogance gone from the earth. Page 58. You and you alone, Adonai, will reign over creation upon Mount Zion, home of your presence, and in Jerusalem, a city set apart by you. As the psalmist believed, Adonai will reign eternally, your God, Zion, for all generations. Hallelujah. Together, you are holy, your name is awe, there is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, the source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through righteousness. Baruch atah Adonai HaMelech HaKadosh. We'll continue with our own silent reflections and prayers. Page 78.
Shalom Rav ad Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam.
begin the Vidui portion of our service, which begins on page 82. You will join together in the English. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong. Of these wrongs we are guilty. We betray, we steal, we scorn, we act perversely. We are cruel, we scheme, we are violent, we slander. We devise evil, we lie, we ridicule, we disobey. We abuse, we defy, we corrupt, we commit crimes. We are hostile, we are stubborn, we are immoral. We kill, we spoil, we go astray, we lead others astray. We'll continue on page 86.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בזדון ובשגגה, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בדיבור פה.
The ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך באימוץ הלב, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בטיפשות פה.
The ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and harm we have caused in your world through careless speech.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בכחש ובכזב, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך ברכילות.
The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused you in your world through gossip and rumor.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפלילות, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בזלזול הורים ומורים.
The ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בווידוי פה, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בהונאת ראיה.
The ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בחוזקיה, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך במשא ובמתן.
The ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business.
שחטאנו לפניך בגלוי ובסתר, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפריקת עול.
The ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world by losing self-control.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגלוי עריות, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך במאכל ובמשתה.
The ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality, and harm we have caused in your world through consumption of food and drink.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביצר הרע, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בנשך ובמרבית.
The ways we have wronged you by giving in to our hostile impulses, and harm we have caused in your world through greed and exploitation.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בלצון, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בנטיית גרון.
The ways we have wronged you through cynicism and scorn, and harm we have caused in your world through arrogant behavior.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בשנאת חינם, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בטומאת שפתיים.
The ways we have wronged you by hating without cause, and harm we have caused in your world through offensive speech.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בלשון הרע, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בצרות עין.
The ways we have wronged you with a slanderous tongue, and harm we have caused in your world through a selfish or petty spirit. Take some silent confession for ourselves. We'll come back on page 96. continue on page 100. God of forgiveness, we come before you in need of compassion. At Sinai, you spoke words that guide our lives to this day, but our ancestors lost faith in you, lost hope in their Redeemer. With one voice they had promised, we will do and obey, and yet, stiff-necked, they broke their word, adoring an idol of gold. How wondrous your compassion in the face of their rebellion, your forgiveness in that moment of human weakness and doubt. Together, we too have broken promises to you. We too worship the work of our own hands. We too make gold a god, and we too forsake your word. At Sinai, you revealed 13 attributes of mercy, these aspects of your nature, your very essence, we now recall.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed ve'emet, Noseh Chesed la'alafim, Noseh Avon la'fesha, V'chata'ah v'nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed ve'emet, Noseh Chesed la'alafim, Noseh Avon la'fesha, V'chata'ah v'nakeh.
Adonai, Adonai, God, compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving, and true, showing mercy to the 1,000th generation, forgiving evil, defiance, and wrongdoing, granting pardon. Continue on page 104. Our God and God of our fathers, God of our mothers, do not abandon us, leaving us in shame. Do not dissolve the covenant you made with us. Together, rather draw us near to your teaching. Show us your ways and teach us how to live. Let us be open to your love, ready to revere your very being. Cut away the hardness of our hearts so that we may turn to you with all our heart's devotion, truly repentant. For the sake of your great name, pardon our failures, forgive our moral weakness, as in the holy words of your psalmist, Adonai, as befits your name, forgive my sin, no matter how great. Page 113. Avinu Malkeinu, a prayer of protest. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice. Some of us have cancer, some of us lost strength of body, some have lost memory and speech, some of us are in pain, some can't find work, some of us bear the marks of human cruelty, inside where the scars don't show. Some live with depression, some battle addiction, many feel alone. Some have known shattered marriages, trust betrayed, hopes destroyed. Some of us have lost the ones we love far too soon, and some have lost a child. All of us have seen suffering in our midst. All of us know the ravages of war, for which there are no words. Avinu Malkeinu, why? Avinu Malkeinu, are you there? Do you care? Avinu Malkeinu, hear our pain, hear our anger, hear our grief. Avinu Malkeinu, here is our prayer. Together, give us the strength to go on. Give us reasons to get up each day. Give us purpose and persistence. Help us to fend off fear and to hold on to hope. Help us to be kind. Don't make us bow or grovel for your favor. Give us dignity and give us courage. Avinu Malkeinu, show us the way to a year of goodness. Renew our belief that the world can be better. Restore our faith in life. Restore our faith in you. Please rise if you are able to. Avinu Malkeinu, Male Yadenu, Mebirchotecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessings.
Avinu Malkeinu, Harem Karen Mashchenecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our eyes behold the dawn of redemption.
Avinu Malkeinu, Na'al Teshivenu, Rakham Milfanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we pray, do not turn us away from you with nothing.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kabel Berachamim, Uvratzon et Tefilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, welcome our prayer with love, accept and embrace it.
Avinu Malkeinu, Aseh Imanu Lama'an Shemecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name.
Avinu Malkeinu, Aseh Lamancha Imlo Lemanenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake, if not for ours.
Avinu Malkeinu, Ein Lanu Melech Ele Ata.
Avinu Malkeinu, you alone are our sovereign.
Avinu Malkeinu, Petach Sha'arei Shamayim L'Tefilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open to our prayer.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu, Chos Barachem Aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice, treat us with tender compassion.
Please be seated. My first day here, I had close to nothing with me. I had a box of dishes, an overnight bag, a camping chair, and a blow-up mattress. I felt alone, overwhelmed, and relieved that I had arrived. I liked the independence, but I yearned for connection and for my own bed. I filled my first days with shopping, exploring, and getting to know you. Many of you stepped up to take care of me, and I really appreciate it. Since moving here, I've been reflecting on those first 2 weeks. I felt gratified by all your excitement and enthusiasm for my new beginning. Every day I met a new person, and I felt welcomed. I felt my hand being held as I started this new life. I learned a lot about you and remembered the importance of being welcomed and gathering with so many events designed to introduce me. My new neighborhood was not as welcoming. On my first night, with lack of silverware, I went across the street to ask for a knife to cut up some food for dinner. My neighbor lent me the knife and introduced herself and all 5 of her cats. Her house was messy, and she was redoing her floors. I found this somewhat comforting given my state, but these feelings did not linger. The next morning, I noticed a white car had appeared across the street. It was very beat up. Her front headlight was missing. The right mirror was hanging off. It was quite the eyesore. I stared at it for a long time, hoping it would just disappear on its own. And it did not. It stayed parked there for 10 more days, perhaps more. The neighbor with 5 cats became less welcoming as time went by. She demanded her knife back at a very inconvenient time, the same time my movers were moving in my furniture. She told us we were not allowed to leave mail in our mailbox, and she complained that our garbage cans were blocking her mailbox, even though she was receiving mail. It was not the welcome wagon for us. These 2 contrasting experiences remind me just how important it is to welcome people in the right way, how to make someone feel comfortable and at home, how to make someone excited to meet others and to lend them support in the future. Even if our community has excelled in welcoming others, there are always ways to improve. One of the first things we can do is apply the Passover principle coined by Priya Parker. On Passover, we ask each other, why is this night different from all other nights? Before you meet someone, ask yourselves, why is this interaction different from all my other interactions? Why is it different from other conversations I have had earlier today? I asked myself these questions as I met each of you. I also asked myself, what makes you different? What is your passion? How can I build community with you and make others feel welcome? The novel, Goodnight, Irene, centers around 2 women who work for the Red Cross during World War II. They are tasked with handing out donuts and coffee to soldiers and those in need. This may seem like a simple task, one that anyone could do, and that is true, but the effect it has on others is not simple. Each donut was given with a smile, and hands grazed each other, eyes locked on each other, passing messages of resilience, trust, and awe from person to person. In a time of intense loneliness and despair, community and hope were created by these women. They received letters from soldiers thanking them for their thoughtfulness and for giving them a semblance of hope in an otherwise terrifying time. The idea of handing out donuts and coffee remains a way to welcome others or to appreciate others for their hard work. In Genesis, Abraham and Sarah welcome strangers into their new home when Abraham is healing from his circumcision and he is engaged in his morning prayers. He sees a caravan of people arriving in the distance. Ignoring his pain, he interrupts his worship and rushes to greet them. These are the angels or messengers from God who have come to tell Abraham that Sarah could, in fact, give birth at age 90. Upon seeing the men, Abraham bows to them and washes their feet. He rushes toward his tent and yells to Sarah, "Hurry, Knead 3 measures of wheat flour and bake some bread cakes. Abraham then ran to the herd and took a young calf, render and sound, and gave it to the servant lad, who quickly prepared it. In this scene, we notice how Abraham hurries. He drops everything to make sure these guests are taken care of and welcomed. In doing so, Abraham is engaging in one of the most important spiritual imperatives in Judaism, haknasat orchim, the welcoming of guests. The Talmud argues that haknasat orchim is a greater mitzvah than welcoming the Shekhinah, God's presence. Perhaps welcoming others allows us to connect not only with them, but also with God. This is a way of creating spiritual community, a concept writer Ron Wolfson stresses in his book, The Spirituality of Welcoming. He writes that a spiritual community helps each human being made in the image of God recapture the knowledge of how to live a life filled with godliness, a life committed to becoming a partner with God in doing the ongoing work of creation and repair of the world. By reaching out to others, we are effectively making the world a better place. Authors Daniel Homan and Lonnie Collins Pratt wrote the book Radical Hospitality, Benedict's Way of Life. They coined the term radical hospitality, or the way to open the door to the possibility of spirituality. Engaging in this is both a form of outreach and inreach. We are becoming messengers to others and bringing ourselves and others closer to God. This hospitality is intentional and helps others feel comfortable, accepted, and valued. The Union for Reform Judaism developed audacious hospitality, an effort focusing on racial equity, diversity, and inclusion work. Audacious hospitality is a transformative spiritual practice rooted in the belief that we will be a stronger, more vibrant Jewish community when we fully incorporate the diversity that is the reality of modern Jewish life. This initiative is one way our movement is working to stress the importance of welcoming others to create an inclusive environment. We see this inclusive language in our Torah. In Deuteronomy 31, we are commanded to gather the people, men, women, children, and the strangers in your communities, that they may hear and so learn to revere your God Adonai, and to observe faithfully every word of this teaching. Knowledge of God's teachings is open to everyone and expected of everyone. There is an entire holiday about the ritual of welcoming others into our homes, Sukkot. On Sukkot, we are told anyone who sits comfortably with their family within their own walls and does not share with the poor is not performing the mitzvah of Sukkot. We open our homes both symbolically and literally to the poor on Sukkot. We can expand this practice to include more than the poor, our neighbors, parents, siblings, and friends, and those we don't know. On each night of Sukkot, it is tradition to invite one of 7 exalted men of Israel to be in our sukkah with us. The Zohar said, "When a man sits in the shadow of faith, the Shekhinah spreads her divine wings on him from above, and Abraham and 5 other righteous ones of God make their abode with him. A man should rejoice each day of the festival with these guests. We are to regard our guest as one of the patriarchs or matriarchs. We are told to make this guest feel so important that the gathering would feel irrelevant without him or her." Ushpuzin is the Aramaic word for guests and refers to a short prayer recited on each night of Sukkot, inviting one of the 7 Jewish forebears to join us in the sukkah. The text is as follows: "Sit, sit, holy guests. Worthy is Israel's portion, as is written in Deuteronomy 32:9. For God's portion is the people, Jacob is God's allotment. I invite to my meal the exalted guests, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Aaron, and David. May it please you, my exalted guest, that all the other exalted guests dwell with me and you." Recently, it has become customary to invite matriarchs, including Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Miriam, Abigail, and Esther to the table. If we can go so far as to inviting 7 people each day, corresponding to all 7 Ushpuzin, blessings will be upon us. The prayer invokes the merit of going out of one's house on Sukkot. which reflects a teaching that each of these 7 Ushpuzin undertook an act of departure that enabled them to fulfill their destiny. Just as the Ushpuzin left a familiar and comfortable home, so do we on Sukkot leave the security of our homes for an impermanent hut. Looking at this ritual again, I can see myself in each of these exalted persons, thinking about how I felt during my move here. Each of these exalted persons represents what I experienced, being uprooted and creating a new home for myself. In joining this community and moving to West Bloomfield, I too was displaced and had to make a new home for myself. In my first week, I had a temporary dwelling with my air mattress. It was not comfortable, but I could feel God's presence. Though I felt alone, I did not feel despair. I knew I had others to turn to, and that each day would improve. In practice, I knew I was not alone. The Ushpuzin ritual evokes the obligation of hosting guests in our homes, in particular on Shabbat and festivals. Maimonides writes, "While eating and drinking, one must feed the stranger, the orphan, the widow, and other poor unfortunates. Anyone, however, who locks the doors of his courtyard and eats and drinks along with his wife and children, without giving anything to eat and drink to the poor and the desperate, does not observe a religious celebration, but indulges in the celebration of his stomach." With this obligation in mind, and in thinking about how you welcomed me in my first month, I want to welcome you into my home. During the next couple of months, we will have congregational events at my house, including during Sukkot and Hanukkah. We want to make you feel at home and be there for you, just as you were for us. Welcoming is only the first step to creating our sustaining community. When joining a new congregation, one is searching for friends, family, and people to learn from. With a new rabbi, we are given a great opportunity to co-create our community again into the congregation we all want. In this time, we are being asked to examine and evaluate the way we have done things, to see if they can be improved upon to create something even better. In doing so, we need to rediscover our purpose, to redefine what, how, when, where, and why we came together in the first place. In the spirit of the new year we are observing, I challenge you to ask yourself what you have learned about meeting others or connecting with others this year. How do you want to welcome others in the future? Which relationships are important to you? I look forward to exploring these questions with you and having you at our home. Thank you for welcoming me and my family into our synagogue and our community. May we continue to create a spiritually welcoming community together. We'll turn to our song sheets for all of these vows.
When I was only 8 years old, I wrote my dad a letter, wishing him only happy times, even though his father died. Throughout the years to find the passion and the strength to make my offering. My dad's been gone for many years, but now he stands beside me, connecting me to Adonai and those to whom I sing. All these vows that we make today must live on through a year of tomorrow. And if we shouldn't make another Kol Nidre night, may our loved ones not remember us in sorrow. May our loved ones not remember us in sorrow.
Page 116. Please rise if you are able to. Oh boy.
Aleinu l'shabeach Adon hakol, la'ateit gedulah miyotzei bereshit, shelo asalu kigunei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishparot ha'adamah, shelo sam halkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol ha'onam, va'anachnu korim u'mishtaharim u'modim lifnei Melech Malchei Haolamim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please be seated. Page 121. This holy night concludes with memory. Our last thoughts always are of those we have lost. We miss them especially tonight, yearning for their presence at our side. The service we have shared once was theirs. They spoke and sang the ancient words. They prayed, repented, and yearned for better lives, as we have done. Flawed in their deeds, imperfect in their faith, they still drew strength from their tradition as we seek fortitude in ours. What was good and beautiful in their lives once gave us joy and now inspires us to reach higher. The knowledge that they loved us deeply brings comfort to our hearts. So we light candles of remembrance and gratitude And we speak this timeless truth. Zichronam livracha. Their memory is a blessing now and forever. We pray that their goodness will live on in our lives, planting seeds of kindness and hope for generations to come. We think of those who have passed away in recent weeks, in the past month. We are thinking of Florence Bell, Robert Bachman, Daryl Eglund, Ira Friedman, Joseph Falick, Bengt Swenson, Marion Menzer, and Lenore Katz. And in this season, we think of those who died in years past. Mr. Max S. Beam, Stuart Cohen, Rhonda Franklin, Miss Tilly Gelman, Janet Rhonda Helper, Jordan Isaacs, Benjamin Kaplan, Maureen Kleinman, Mr. Herbert Lee Kazan, Shirley Lackman, Jean Millets, Dr. Charles N. Pappas, Jack Robinson, Patricia Elizabeth Schultz, Frida Schwash, Dr. Marvin Strauss, Michael G. Weiss, Miss Jean Wygod, Mr. Maurice Maury Zillicon, and George Mike Zeltzer. If you have any names to add or correct, I encourage you to do so. The Mourner's Cottage is on page 122. Please rise if you are able to. Yitz Gadal, Yitz Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma, Divrach, Hirotei, V'yamlich, Malchutei, V'hayechon, V'yomechon, U'chayei Techol Beit Yisrael, V'agala, V'izman Kariv, V'imru, Yahei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach, Le'olam Almei Almaya, Yitzbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar V'yithaleh V'yithalal Shemei Dekudisha V'rehu, Le'ela U'le'ela Mikol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nachemata, Damiran Be'alma V'imru, Yehei Shlaba Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru. Osei Shalom B'imromav, Hu Yasei Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshei Tevel, V'imru. Amen. Be seated. A couple of announcements. Tomorrow we'll meet again at 10 a.m. At 1 o'clock there will be a speakers series. At 2 o'clock there will be a teaching and a children's service. At 3:30 Natalie Conrad will offer us music and meditation. And at 4:30 our afternoon Yizkor and Ne'ilah service will begin. I want to thank the choir and Chancellor, our accompanist. It was wonderful to hear your voices. I want to thank all of our ushers and all the people who were part of our service tonight. And a big thank you to Kyle for helping us to stream our services online. Our closing song is on page 127. feel healed, knowing you have reflected. May you feel forgiven, knowing you have repented. May you have the courage to embrace another chance, and may the sweetness of the new year give you hope. Gamar Chatima Tova. We ask that you stay in your seats until the two of us can leave the bima to greet you properly in the tent. We will see you soon. Thank you for being here.